Hey, how's it going? It's Ollie here. So today I have a question for you. What can you sacrifice short term to give you gains long term? This is a big question if you really are serious about building a business, if you're really serious about making a big change in your life. And this is something you actually want to see happen and not just have it be just a fantasy that you wish about, you dream about for years, and it never actually takes place. So I've actually had a conversation with someone recently who said they've been trying to set up some kind of online business for the past 20 years. Right, and to be honest, that made me feel quite sad because I've only been doing this stuff for like 5 years, really. And, you know, so much has happened, so much has changed. I couldn't imagine, not really doing anything for 20 years. It's quite saddening. So today I want to help you stop that, right, and not let it happen to you. The key is about sacrifice, because really any time you take on a new opportunity, you have to sacrifice other opportunities in order to allow that opportunity to happen. It's a good idea to start by just drawing out your calendar. Right, because a lot of people, they have a routine that they do every single day. They have stuff they do in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. They have stuff they do at the weekends, but even though they kind of do the same thing every week, they're still not 100% sure what they've spent their time doing. Like if you look back over the past week, what did you spend your last week doing? Hour by hour. Could you tell me that? Maybe not, right? Maybe you don't have a log of it. Well, let's try and create a log of what you did over the past 7 days. And then we can figure out which things you might be able to sacrifice to spend that time building your business to get a bit further towards your goals, right? So first of all, just draw out like a basic calendar, right? You can do this maybe on a spreadsheet, or I would just do it on a piece of paper, right? Or like me, on your iPad if you have one. And it doesn't have to be fancy, we just need to get an idea. So just separate it into 7 days, right? So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we can just bolt one on here for Sunday, right? And as you can see, it doesn't have to look pretty, right? It's not the point of the exercise, okay? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So as long as you can see the days separated clearly, this should give you a visual representation of your week. So for example, we can start off with your mornings, right? So if you just separate the mornings out, what do you do on Monday morning? Well, maybe you wake up at say 7 a.m. and maybe from, 7 until 7:30 or 7 until 8, you're getting up, having breakfast, getting ready to go to work, right? Maybe that's what you do. So you're getting ready Monday morning, right? So maybe that's the same for every day of the week. So let's just put this into our calendar, and then you can see what's going on in the mornings, right? Maybe Saturday and Sunday, during that same time, you are having a lie-in, right? Because you've had to wake up early every day, Monday to Friday, so maybe at the weekend you sleep in a little bit. Fair enough, right? Cool. All right, next. Maybe from, say, 9 till 5, or from 10 till 6, or from 8 till 6, whatever it is, you're at work. Monday to Friday, for example, right? So you're at work during that time, okay? And your shifts might be different, I don't know, whatever it is, just put the average week down on to the calendar, and then try and figure out what you do most evenings. So how do you usually break up your time? So for example, maybe on Wednesday, you might go and play football. Maybe not over the past few months, right? But maybe usually you go play football. Maybe on a Friday night you go out. Maybe Monday you just watch Netflix and stuff. Maybe on Tuesday you might play some video games, for example. Maybe on Thursday, I don't know, you go to a friend's place. And then what do you do at the weekend? What do you usually do? Like, do you usually go on like a trip or something on Saturday for the first part of the day? Maybe on Sunday you don't really do a whole lot. Maybe just relax at home, right? I do that most Sundays, right? Just chill. Cool. So just don't overthink it. Just break down your week and just get a visual representation of what happens. Like for me, my whole entire week is dominated by my calendar because my work, right, is decided by me. So I'm the one who has to create the calendar. If you work for someone else, then they probably give you the tasks to do. I don't know. But as long as you know what's happening on each day, we can work with that. So next, once you've got some sort of idea, next thing to do will be to figure out which areas you might be able to sacrifice to make more time for building your Amazon business. Right? Because if you can do this decisively and actually make these commitments and decide to do it, it's much more likely that you're going to spend that time on the business instead. Right? If you've made the decision to, I don't know, tell your friends I'm not coming out on Friday because I'm busy doing my work, right? Now it feels more real and it feels more serious. Right? So go through your calendar and have a think about which things, in order to be able to grow your income, in order to be able to quit your job one day, in order to be able to just hit all those goals you have in the back of your mind, which things could you block off your calendar and not do maybe for 6 months or maybe for 12 months and do your business instead? So one example could be that in the morning, instead of waking up at say 7, right, to start getting ready, what you could do, which is probably the easiest way to make more time, is wake up an hour earlier. Wake up an hour earlier than you usually do and spend that time working on your business, right? So if you just did that every day, instantly, without eating into too much of your time socializing, playing video games, right, doing sport, all that stuff, even if you just did weekdays, now you've already got 5 hours a week to dedicate to your business. So you're sacrificing a little bit of sleep in the morning so you can put more time into your business. Right? You could go to bed an hour earlier each night so you can get the same amount of sleep and have more time to work on your business. Right? It's one possibility. Another thing you could do is say, well, you know what, I'm going to cancel my Netflix account for the next 12 months. Right? I'm going to cancel my Netflix. Instead of watching Netflix on Monday, I'm going to spend that time working on my business. So maybe 2 hours or something like that. Right? Or it could be whatever sports you like to play. Right? You could maybe pause that for a little while. Spend that time working on your business. Maybe at the weekend, right? You could, instead of going on a trip and relaxing or whatever it is you do at the weekends, maybe you could spend that time on your business. Maybe instead of lying in on the weekends like you normally do, right? You could spend that time working on your business as well. Right? Now you probably don't need to do all of these things. In the beginning, you only need probably 5 to 10 hours a week to get momentum. Right? 5 to 10 hours of really focused, serious time spent working on your business. And that will get the ball rolling and get things in motion so your business can start to pick up steam. Right? That will get the ball rolling, first of all. And then if things start to go very well, then you can maybe sacrifice more stuff because you'll know it's definitely going to be worth it. Right? It's definitely going to give you more return on time invested. Right? You might be more motivated to sleep less if you are for sure certain that you're going to make more money putting more hours into your business. So interestingly enough, I actually did this recently. Right, this is why I was inspired to tell you about it. In fact, in my situation, I usually work during the day, right, like you guys do. But obviously, when I'm working on my business. At the weekend, in my situation, I usually play video games, chill, and meet up with friends, right? So recently, I wanted to get back into making more music more consistently. And so what I decided to do is sacrifice my weekends, right? Instead of playing video games and just relaxing and trying to reset ready for the next week, I said, well, actually doing music is something I really enjoy, and it doesn't take up a lot of energy. It energizes me. So I'm happy to give up my weekends to make music instead of just completely relaxing and not really doing much. Right? So this freed up about 10 hours a week for me to start making music again. Right? Also, I've dedicated an hour a day before I start working on my business to create music as well. Right? So I started my work an hour later, okay? And I don't really wake up that early, to be honest. I wake up about 10 or something like that. And I do my music for an hour, and then I get started working on my business, right? So all of a sudden, I've sacrificed a bit of work from the morning, relaxing at the weekends, and I've got 15 hours a week now to make music, to promote it, do the marketing, and everything else, right? So which things could you sacrifice in order to build this business? Because if you don't figure this stuff out now and actually just sit down and just draw out your calendar and figure out which things you're going to sacrifice to build this business, there's a good chance you'll never get started, right? Because you're never going to have more time. You're never going to be less busy, right? It's just not going to happen. You have to decisively rearrange your calendar and decide to have more time and make more time for this to really happen, and for it to ever have a chance of taking off. Because if there's one thing every single successful Amazon seller has, right, it's consistent action every day. Right? That's what they do. Consistent action every single day on their business. Touch your business every day. Do something with your business every single day. I remember when I was working in a bar in I started there in 2012, I think, and I finished university. I had a 0 hour contract. I was earning about £7.35 an hour or something, and this is a 0 hour contract. So there'd be weeks where I'd have 40 hours worth of work, and there'd be weeks where I had one shift, a couple of part-time shifts. And what I would do is all the time whilst I was working, right, serving people pints and stuff, I would be thinking in the back of my head of ideas for what to test with the time that I had when I got home after work. During my lunch break and while I was waiting, when there was no customers, when it was quiet, I would get out a notepad from next to the till where we usually write down people's orders and stuff if they ordered food. And I would just write down ideas that I had through the day. So I was constantly thinking about how I could get this business built, right? Thinking about ideas. And I didn't even know about Amazon at that time. I didn't even think about building an Amazon business. I was planning on how to get freelance music work back at the time. And through doing that, I ended up getting a freelance music gig and got paid about $4,000 to do some music for a video game. It's going to be like a video game theme park ride in the Middle East, which is up and running now. That was all from constantly thinking about what to do with the business while I was at work, and then spending my time in the evenings focusing on the business every day, just doing something. At that time, we were actually sending out emails to video game developers, right? And phoning video game companies to try and get that music contract. And it's competitive. There's a lot of people who can compose music in the world, right? So the fact that we got anything was incredible. And it was just because I was doing something every single day. Then obviously when I found out about Amazon, I applied the same stuff to the Amazon business. And that's why things took off so well. And it really did take off fast. Like I went from that year, in the beginning of the year, 2015, a couple of years after working in a bar, I went from having no income to having 10K a month profit coming in within 11 months, right? So you only have to sacrifice some things for like 12 months. And if you really take this stuff seriously and you make sacrifices, then the ironic thing is you can do way more of this short-term gain stuff, like watching Netflix and meeting friends and traveling. You can do way more of it because you won't have the job in the way which is holding you back right now. I can take so much time to make music now because I can arrange my calendar however I like. If I want to take a day off, I can at any point. I could take an entire week off. I could take probably 2 weeks to a month off if I wanted to, and just focus that time onto making music. And that's because I put in the hours for like 6 months, for like a year, and really sacrificed certain things in my life so I could build this business. So have a think about it. Are you really willing to make these sacrifices? Do you want this business bad enough? And if the answer is yes, get out a piece of paper, draw out your calendar, decide today which things you're going to stop doing so you can get those big gains. Alright, so I hope this has been helpful for you. And if you want to get started, you want to learn how to get your first sale on Amazon in the next 30 days, I actually have a masterclass you can watch. So look in the link in the description for that masterclass. You can jump on it. There's some other links in there as well to help you get started. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll speak very soon.